Lori here. I'm here today to talk about some of the young adult fantasy books that I'm most excited for in 2022. These are ones that have just caught my eye, and then I'm going to make another video about the 10 books that I hope to tackle in 2022, and that will be in a couple of days. But let's get into it. It is by the author Morgan Rhodes, or Hope to Read, or the one I'm most excited about is Echoes and Empires. This book comes out in January. The cover looks really interesting, so I'm intrigued. So here's the cover. Saying my summaries, but this book is a snarky 17-year-old must team up with an enigmatic criminal to cure herself of a dangerous forbidden magic in the first book in a new fantasy duology. Again, that sounds really, really cool. I'm excited. I like books about magic. I've always said that. I don't read enough of them, as I always say, but maybe this will be the year that I'm more successful. So hopefully I will get to read this. It comes out in January. I do have an e-arc of it, so I have no excuse not to get to it. And I did like Morgan Rhodes' writing style. I read her Fallen Kingdom book, and then I just never wound up reading the rest of the series, but I did like her writing style. So hopefully this will be a home run for me. I'm super excited about is The Bone Spindle, and this also comes out in January, and I do have New York of this one as well, so hopefully I can sneak this one in early in the year. Different characters, and it was pitched to me sort of as Sleeping Beauty meets Indiana Jones, and I think it's like LGBTQ plus, but there's two girls and there's a boy. The boy is a prince and he's sort of sleeping. You have a treasure hunter, and then I think the other character is a tough as nails dirt girl warrior from the north. Um, and they're kind of on an adventure to kind of find this object, and when one sort of pricks her finger, the spirit of Briar Rose goes into her and they have to sort of save this prince. It sounds super complicated, but all the elements together sound really, really fun. I love book about girls working together. I like that the prince is the one that needs to be saved. That's a fun twist, and I really like this one, so hopefully I get around to reading it. It sounds adorable, though. It sounds very, very cute, very, very action, very, very adventure-y. Sort of reminds me of when I first read the Undying and Unearthed books that had an Indiana Jones element, and so does The Curse of the Spectre Queen. So this book just sounds right up my alley, and I hope I enjoy it. And it does come out early in the year, so hopefully I get around to it quickly. Excited about is League of Liars by Astrid Charlotte. She is the author that wrote Four Dead Queens. She wrote The Vanishing Deep. This is a thriller, like a fantasy thriller, I think that's what it was pitched as. So let me read you guys a summary, and I do have an e-arc of this one as well. But I really have enjoyed Astrid Charlotte's thriller elements to her story, so hopefully I like this one as well. Pitched to me as a fantasy thriller, which I'm always intrigued right off the bat by. And it said it's sort of like perfect for fans of Six of Crows and How to Get Away to Murder. Basically, four teens are charged with murder and the illegal use of magic bands together to devise the ultimate jailbreak. That sounds really cool. So basically, they're convicted of murder, they're in jail, and they have to use magic to get out of jail. That sounds really, really cool. Really interesting. Again, I like fast-paced stories, especially when I'm on the train and makes the train ride go super fast. It comes out in February, and hopefully I will read it soon and give you guys my review because I do have an e-arc of this one. But yeah, this one sounds great, and I hope I continue to like her books because the other two I have really enjoyed. Really excited for, and it reminds me of Three Dark Crowns by Kendra Blake, and it's Castle in in their bones by Laura Sebastian. If I get the title of that wrong, I'll correct it, but that's what I think the title is, and it is coming out in February as well. And this really did remind me of Kendra Blake's book, but it is basically about three princesses and their destiny they were born for: seduction, conquest, and the crown. Immerse yourselves in the first book in a fantasy trilogy from the author of the Ash Princess series. They must leave their home and marry the prince. And these triplets, they're perfect brides. Never estimate a girl. But they're all basically changed in these arts of seduction and murder. and now they are ready, with each with their own secret skill set and each with a single wish. Plugged for the stars, only the stars have their own plans, and their mother hasn't told them all of hers. Life abroad is a test. Will their loyalty stay true, or will they learn they can't trust anyone? So this sounds like a story where they're sort of sent. They're 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 basically created to be these perfect princesses, and they're sent to get married. And when they cross the pond, maybe there's more secrets there than they think, or maybe they're not what they expect everything to be. So I'm really intrigued. I really do like Laura Sebastian's writing style. That was a bad summary in my just how I did it, but you can always check it out on Goodreads. But I'm really excited for this one and hope to get to it relatively soon. I just found when I was sort of putting this list together, but it's called Mirror Girls, and it comes out also in February. Here's a photo. Like a historical fiction book with a magic twist. You basically follow these two twins. It is set like around the civil rights era, and basically these two twins are separated after their parents are lynched, and they are sent to two different places. One is sent to Harlem and one stays in the South. One is like white passing and one is not. But their paths wind up crossing unexpectedly when magic is sort of introduced into their life, and they're in this haunted town. And it just, the summary sounds really, really cool. I love books set in a historical time period that has a little bit of a magic twist. This one feels like we will learn a little bit more about the civil rights era and the civil rights movement. I love books about twins. It's like one of my favorite tropes and reads. So I'm really excited for this one and hope that I'm able to pick it up in February. And February is Black History Month, so I'm really hopeful that I will pick this back up in that month as well. Books, but we're going to move on to March now. One of the books I'm really excited for March is Forgery of Roses by Jessica Olsen, and here's a photo of that one. This is a story about a main character named Myra, and she has the ability to draw, like paint something, and when she paints something, that becomes imbued in the actual person. She can make them have better hair, she can make them more artistic, but that is a power that she can't let anyone know, because again, magic is like hush hush no in this society, which makes sense. Always happens in historical fiction books or books set in the past. But when a country like a well-connected woman realizes this, she basically blackmails her to trying to bring her dead son back to life. When she gets there, she realizes that his death is no accident, and she winds up teaming up with his brother to figure out what's really going on. And it seems like it will be a fun ride. Again, I have an e-arc of this one as well, so hopefully I'll get around to it soon. But I've never read anything by this author before, but this cover has me really intrigued, so hopefully I get around to it soon and I can give you guys my thoughts. I'll go up briefly because I don't want to read the summary. I want to sort of go in a little bit blind. It's coming out in March, and that is Gallant by V.E. Schwab. Here's a photo. And Secret Garden. So I'm intrigued right off the bat, but I think it's about a girl. She's like living at a school for girls, and then she gets taken out of school and gets returned to her family's house, and no one really expects her there. She kind of meets these people, but just to sort of uncover mysteries in this haunted town. Sounds right up my alley. I really have enjoyed V.E. Schwab's book, so hopefully this one is another winner. And it's a standalone, and we get so few standalones in the YA set every single year, so this is one that I definitely have my eye on. What I'm going to chat about is Sophie and the Bone Song by Adrienne Tooley. This book comes out in April and is also high on my TBR. That wrote Sweet and Bitter Magic, so it does have a magic component. It's about a magical musician who sets out on a mission to sort of uncover her rival using dark magic against her, and gets in way over her head and start realizing there are issues that she never could have imagined. That sounds great. Again, another standalone, which I'm really excited for. I really liked her first book and hope that this book has enough magic to get me going through this cold, dark April. Sometimes April's nice, sometimes it's really, really cold. It just sort of depends, but hopefully it will be a nice book regardless. Young adult book I'm going to talk about, and I'm going to talk about one that's like adult, is These Vicious Graces. Here's a photo. Interesting right off the bat. I don't like to read too much about mystery thrillers, which I think this book is sort of has like a fantasy mystery thriller. But it's about this girl who's been gifted powers from the gods. Her powers are supposed to magnify a partner's magic and not kill everyone. That's sort of what's happening with her magic right now. And then basically demons in a week they will kind of devour this island. Alyssa's running out of time to find a partner and stop the invasion. When a powerful prince convinces the faithful that killing Alyssa in the island is only hope, her own soldiers try to assassinate her. She kind of teams up with an outcast to sort of outrun this thing. And that's sort of the book. Sounds really, really interesting though. So, and it comes out in May. I do have an e-arc of this one as well, so hopefully I'll get around to reading it a little bit early so I can give you guys my thoughts. But yeah, that's the last YA book I'm going to chat about, and then I'm going to talk about Holly Black's new book. It's going to be an adult fantasy. I am intrigued, so let's get into it. The book of the night. It comes out in May. I'm intrigued. So let's take a peek at the photo, which I don't think it actually is. This is not the cover, but let's just take a peek at it. Tells me that this is a stunning debut with the Book of the Night, a modern dark fantasy of shadowy thieves and secret societies in the vein of Ninth House and Night Circus. So I'm intrigued. I don't want to read too much else about it, but definitely on my list to consider for the summer months because it comes out in May. So I'm intrigued. So let me know in the comments what are some other books you're excited about. I'm excited about a lot more, but those are just the ones that piqued my interest. Again, these is only books that are coming out until July. So I'm sure I will have a lot more for the second half of the month, but those dates are just have not been announced yet. I'm filming this in early December, so it's possible more will get announced by the end of the year, but I will keep you guys updated as things pop up on my radar. But I hope you guys are having a good day. Tell me in the comment what is one fantasy, YA book, or adult book that you're really looking forward to in 2022. And I'll talk to you for my next video. Bye, friends.